Eli was feeling strange. He couldn't focus his eyes. He couldn't keep control of speech. His lips felt like jelly. The combine chemical flowing through his veins was penetrating his mind to get his most well-kept secrets.
What is it, Eli?
Asked Dr. Breen. Eli couldn't answer. Not what Dr. Breen wanted to hear, anyway. Eli had no clue what he was talking about. Eli thought to himself, "Oh, yeah. All this time, this tower's really gotten to his head." Eli replied to Dr. Breen, saying, "I don't know, Breen. You keep asking me. I've told you the truth. Your chemicals aren't going to make me pretend." Dr. Breen was about to hit Eli in frustration when a Combine Elite soldier walked in. The robotic voice said,
Sir, we have received crucial information from Spiderbug 287 in a rebel safe house. As you can see, I'm in the middle of something here. Unless this information about the aircraft in which Eli will eventually tell me about, then send some units out to dispose of the rebels.
Dr. Breen said as he walked over to the desk and had an alien-like syringe full of a more powerful chemical.
Sir, the information received is about the rebel aircraft. It could lead to the successful capture of the aircraft and conquest of Earth,
said the elite. Dr. Breen then paused and put the needle away.
Okay, then show me this information. Eli, you'll have to go back to your little pod whilst I listen to this. Can't risk you hearing any information about our organization and all those protocols you should remember from Black Mesa.
He then pushed a button on his desk, which made the robotic arm holding Eli's carrier take it back to the holding pod at the side of Dr. Breen's office. Dr. Breen then sat down and listened to this recording. He became alert as he heard all about the Doctor and the TARDIS.
Whose line is this?
Breen.
Is it mine? My God, if we could have that technology, we'd never need to fight to take Earth in the first place.
What action do you want us to take, sir?
Asked the Combine Elite.
Send everything we've got to that safe house. Gunships, dropships, striders, headcrabs. Destroy this Doctor before he has a chance to make it back to his machine, and send civil protection out near the train station to find Eli's hideout. We need that technology,
said Dr. Breen.
Yes, sir,
replied the elite.
Oh, might I remind you that failure to complete this task will result in permanent off-world relocation for you and your troops,
threatened Dr. Breen.
But this is unreal,
said Dr. Kleiner.
It can't exist. It's
impossible,
said the doctor.
Exactly what I thought when I arrived here. I bet exactly what you thought when the resonance cascade happened, but it still happens.
Do you realize what this means, though? If the Combine were to acquire this technology, Lord knows what would happen.
Dr. Kleiner exclaimed.
It's all right. The Combine will never get it as long as we get back to your lab now. We need to get back to our universe before the Combine find out about it.
The doctor was cut off by sirens ringing, buzzing noises, and stomping noises. Boom, 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 boom. Bonnie then ran into the safe house. "Run! Y'all need to get out of here now. The Combine is sending everything towards this point. Dr. Kleiner, you need to come with us. We can take you to a safe route back to your lab." Kleiner.
But I can't leave the Doctor and Amy on their own. It is vital they make it back to the lab,
said Dr. Kleiner.
Barney.
Oh, I'm Barney. I'm sorry. Sorry, Doc. We can't say any more. The Combine will find us if there's too many, replied Barney.
But Barney, it is vital. Humanity's survival depends on it, pleaded
Dr. Kleiner. Barney paused, looked at the Doctor and Amy, and then said, "Okay, there's a vehicle out back. There's a locator on board showing the way back to Kleiner's lab, but you need to get there fast. There's striders and gunships all over the place." There was a loud crash as the gunship started firing at the safe house. "Doc, come on, we have to go now," shouted Barney. Kleiner then went with Barney and the rebels, and the Doctor and Amy ran out back to the vehicle. They came across what seemed to be the framework of an old car with a huge engine in the back.
"That's our getaway vehicle?"
said he.
"It's not perfect, but we'll have to make do. You can drive, right?"
"Wait, the Doctor can't drive?" said the Doctor.
Shh.
Oh, there we are.
"You can drive a time machine, but can't drive a rubbish cage on wheels,"
Amy replied as they climbed into the vehicle.
"I used to be able to, but that was a long time ago. Now, come on, let's go. We haven't got time for this,"
the Doctor said.
"Yes, sir, Mr. I can't drive a car."
Amy said,
"Move, Amy. Move."
Amy said sarcastically as she put the car in the first gear and put her foot down on the throttle pedal as the car screeched off down the road and striders and gunships tore the safe house apart.
Of course, the Doctor
next chapter
has driven cars before.
"Amy, I know we're in a hurry, but there's just two things I need to tell you,"
the Doctor said frantically as Amy drove the car into multiple Combine soldiers.
"And what would that be?"
She replied as a gunship locked onto the car and began to fire.
"Well, one, there are things called brakes that will make driving a lot easier if used
Bullets from passing combine soldiers were ricocheting off the sides of the car as the gunship fired its pulse cannon towards the car's engine in an attempt to stall it.
And the other would be that you don't seem to have any idea where we're going.
The doctor said as Amy turned right around the corner.
It should have been a left back there.
He said.
Well, it's really funny when you think about it.
Replied Amy as she put her foot down on the accelerator. The gunship following them was now swooping low and firing to try to stop the car. As Amy went around another corner, a tunnel with vehicles in front of it came into vision.
Aha! We can escape that thing in there. Hold on, Doctor, this is gonna be bumpy.
Bumpy?
Bumpy?
Amy exclaimed as she drove the car straight towards the tunnel, bashing cars out of the way.
No, Amy, don't!
The doctor didn't have time to finish as the car smashed its way into the tunnel and then came to a stop just inside. The gunship then stopped following just before the tunnel as it called in for reinforcements.
Well, that was easy.
Said Amy as she got out of the car.
Easy. We're now lost in the city. The Combine are chasing us. The car is wrecked, and I told you not to drive into the tunnel.
The doctor said, in an annoyed manner.
Well, we got rid of that thing, didn't we? Honestly, Doctor, you should listen to me more.
Amy was cut off by the sounds of groans in the distance.
Remember the head crabs in Kleiner's lab?
The doctor asked.
Well, of course. How could I forget such a cute little jumping ball of flesh?
Replied Amy as the groans got louder.
Well, let's just say head crabs aren't all as friendly as that one.
Suddenly a loud screech came from behind them. A poison head crab leapt at Amy, sinking its fangs in her neck as it tried to take a host of her.
Amy!
Shouted the doctor as he used a sonic screwdriver to disorient the hair. I'm doing too British. Okay. Disorient the head crab.
Amy, are you okay?
The doctor caught Amy just before she collapsed to the floor. Amy was now paralyzed from the head crab's venom.
I'll get you out of here, Amy. I can help you if I can make a med kit.
The doctor then got Amy on his back and carried her away. He then turned around and was met with several head crab zombies shuffling towards him. Okay, who the hell was that?
It was me, sorry.
It was really good.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first part, it kind of died off in the end. Anyway, a head crab zombie seemed to scream as the head crab attached to it caused it to swipe at the doctor.
I'm sorry about this.
Said the doctor as he used a sonic screwdriver on the head crab attached to the zombie. The head crab then detached itself from the zombie, but as it did, the zombie died. He then managed to get past the other zombies as he made his way towards a set of stairs leading to the surface. He then carried Amy out through the exit and put her down next to the entrance.
Okay, Amy. I'm leaving you for a minute. I have to go get a med kit to stop the poison. I will be back for you. I promise.
The doctor said as he then went to search for a medkit.
I'm gonna cry. This is so sad.
He had just made it past some rubble when he heard a loud electronic roar. He looked out of a broken window and saw a strider heading towards Amy.
Amy!
He shouted as he ran towards her. She looked towards him and just managed to say the word...
Sorry.
Sorry. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Sorry.
At that point, the strider fired its cannon at her. Here. Her body turned black with sparks coming off of her as she began to vaporize. Within seconds, her body had disappeared. Not cannon. The doctor stood there for a moment in complete shock. His shock was then quickly overcome with anger as he stood out in the open shouting at the strider.
Hey! Hey! Go on! Kill me! I'm right here! Do it! Kill me!
The strider turned towards the doctor. It was about to fire its cannon when a rocket drove itself into the side of the strider, knocking into a building. Rebels then appeared and started attacking the strider.
Doctor, come on, we need to get out of here now. Kleiner's is teleport ready for you.
Said one of the rebels.
I am not leaving without Amy. I cannot go without her.
He replied.
There's nothing you can do for her now. She's gone. I'm sorry. Now come on, we need to get out of here now. There's reports that the Combine are sending hunters this way.
The rebel shouted as he had to drag the doctor away from where he last saw Amy. The doctor, in disbelief, could not turn his eyes away from where he left her just for a moment. He then ran towards Kleiner's lab with the rebels. The doctor was running with the rebels through a Reuben Street past the destroyed chain station and towards Kleiner's lab. He was still in complete disbelief about Amy's death. He then stopped running and leaned on a wall, catching his breath. The rebels then stopped, and one of them walked over to him.
Doctor, are you okay?
Asked the rebel. The doctor kept his eyes at the floor and seemed to ignore the rebel.
I know losing someone does not feel good. Trust me, I know. But wherever she is now can't be any worse than here.
The doctor kept looking at the ground. He was listening to the rebel, but just couldn't say anything.
You know, the Vorts sometimes say that when someone dies, they don't actually...
The rebel seemed to stop talking. In fact, everything had become silent. There was no sound, nothing. The doctor turned around to look at the rebel. The rebel seemed to be frozen, as if time had stopped. The doctor stood there, looking puzzled, suddenly heard a voice that seemed to come from everywhere.
The doctor,
Said the voice. It seemed to say it as if it struggled with English.
Who are you?
Replied the doctor.
am required to abide by certain restrictions whilst I confer with the last of the Time Lords.
The doctor looked shocked.
How do you know who I am? Show yourself!
A figure faded into view in front of the doctor. He was wearing a grey suit and was carrying a grey briefcase in his right hand.
As I stated before, I'm not authorized to tell you who exactly I am, but I'm authorized to relay these words to you.
What do you mean?
Asked the doctor, who was now completely confused. The figure came close to the doctor and whispered in his ear.
Silence, Doctor. Silence will fall.
The doctor was now scared of the figure and had an
God
expression
damn it, G-Man.
of fear that very few had seen.
Is this me?
Yeah, it's you.
Okay. If you require answers, you will find them on the planet Medusa. However, to get to the Medusa, you must first save the world you cherish the most. You must return to Earth and save those that you can. My employers would appreciate it if you made haste, for there are others which we must attend to. I apologize, as this may not be the most convenient time for a solitary quest. I would do more for you, but for now you must return as the children of Medusa have. Goodbye, Doctor. For now.
Suddenly there was a flash, and the sounds that had spoken into the doctor's ears before he had returned.
You okay now, Doc?
Asked one of the rebels. The doctor tried to recall what he had just seen, but for some odd reason he could not remember. He then nodded at the rebel.
Okay then, well, we gotta move. Kleiner can't keep the teleport ready for much longer.
Said the rebel. They then pressed on to Kleiner's lab and eventually made it past the destroyed building and vehicles that littered the area and made their way into Kleiner's lab.
Ah, Doctor, it's good to see you, but where's your companion?
Asked Kleiner. The doctor looked at Kleiner, trying not to show any emotion.
She was killed. I couldn't save her.
That sounds like an awful lot of emotion. Said the doctor in a low tone.
I'm sorry, I would take a break under normal circumstances, but we really must get you and your machine out of here.
Exclaimed Kleiner. The doctor stepped inside the teleportation room to find his TARDIS wired up to the teleporter.
This is fantastic.
The doctor exclaimed, sounding positive for the first time since Amy's death.
Well, I did receive some help, but thank you.
The doctor returned to Kleiner.
When the TARDIS goes through the teleporter, you will need to be out of this room and lock it off.
Why would I need to do that?
Asked Kleiner.
Traveling back into my universe could tear open a hole which would cause creatures from Zen to leak in through the teleporter.
The doctor replied as he walked over to the TARDIS.
Ah, I see. Well, I shall start the teleporter and vacate to safety immediately. It's been nice knowing you, Doctor. Hopefully your world will have more luck than ours.
Kleiner said to the doctor.
If any species could defeat the Combine, it would be humans.
Humans. The doctor said as he retreated inside the TARDIS. He then started up the TARDIS. At the same time, Kleiner started up the teleport. Kleiner then came out of the room and shut the door. The TARDIS began to spark as it was sent back through the void into the other universe. Kleiner then heard the teleport cease functioning. He then grabbed a shotgun and carefully opened the door with Lamar at his side. As he opened the door, he saw two figures. One was a woman wearing a brown jacket and jeans. The other was a man in a metallic orange suit, wielding a crowbar.
They gasp.
They were Jordan Freemans.
Oh my god.
This story arc will continue in another Doctor Who fanfic called Return of the Medusans. Sorry for the delay, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this fanfic.
Return of the Medusans.